what's up, you guys? Todd Falcone here. I've been bringing you all sorts of interviews with really amazing people that have just had great success in the network marketing space. I just finished this interview with Ali France. You're going to absolutely love it. This woman started at the age of 19 in network marketing. She was going to pursue a career in law enforcement and ended up in the network marketing space. And in this interview, she shares her stories, her strategies. It's incredibly inspiring. You're going to learn a ton. Grab a notepad. You're going to want it. You're going to want to take notes. Let's get into the interview. Hey, what's up, my fearless networking friends? Todd Falcone here, back again with another success interview. As you've noticed for the past several months, I've been bringing a lot of very successful people who are just crushing it in the field as network marketing leaders. I've actually brought a couple of company owners in as well, and just bringing you guys value so that you can hear from other successful people as far as how they've done what they've done. I know that's a big question networkers always have, is like, how did you do it? How did you get there? What did you do? And I know most of you guys plug into me for education and training on how to succeed in network marketing. So that's what I'm always bringing you. And today I've got a young lady, Ali France, who is absolutely killing it in her business. She's been in the network marketing industry for, I think, just about 9 years, 8-9 years. We'll get into that. She's just doing an amazing job, and we're gonna dig in. And the cool thing is, like, I don't really know Ali, so we've had a very brief conversation preceding this recording that we're doing right now. So I'm going to be digging myself and kind of like uncovering exactly how she's done what she's done. So Ali France, what's up? How's it going? Glad to have you with us today. How you doing?
Hello, I am doing super, super well. I'm super excited to be here. It's kind of weird to hear somebody refer to me as a successful network marketer because I still feel like a young little small town stay-at-home mom. So this is definitely exciting. I'm super excited.
Well, we know you're doing exceptionally well in your company, and so you deserve to get those accolades. So let's go back to kind of the beginning. Like I know at one point when you were like in your teens, you were like you were going to law enforcement school. You were going to be a cop. And I'm just maybe just kind of like share with the audience like how you got started in network marketing. Where were you in life at that time? And how did you end up in this amazing profession that you're in?
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me dig deep back and tell a little bit of how I got started here. So, originally in life, I was, like Todd said, going to school to be a law enforcement officer. That had kind of always been my plan. I've always kind of had a very red personality. I am a hunter, I'm a fisherman, I do everything outdoors. So, kind of anything that's deep down in the dirty of things, I'm in, and I'm excited to do it. So I was originally going to school to be a law enforcement officer, and I started going in college in the schools in high school. So I had almost a full degree, 2-year degree before I graduated high school. And I just needed to go one more semester to finish that. And once we started digging into what actual law enforcement school really looked like, I decided that that actually was not going to be for me. Kind of like that dilemma of what happens after high school. I'm not sure what I want to do with my life. And so I ended up moving away from home and moved away to my now husband's house. He was my boyfriend, obviously, back then, almost 10 years ago. That sounds crazy to say. But moved in with him, and we got pregnant about 6 months later, and the rest is kind of history. I had a baby when I was my first son when I was just turned 19, and we were a single household income, and we were struggling. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure of anybody who's absolutely vibing and thriving right now in this economy with a single income and in their household. It's just not something that is plausible. And we always knew that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but we weren't sure how that was going to be possible. So I started looking around for opportunities. I was going to maybe go into security and take on the night shift, or be an insurance salesman. I looked at some things like that. And then all of a sudden, a friend from high school added me to a Facebook group and said, "Hey, look at this." And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is kind of something I'm looking for. I was interested in the product at the time, needed to lose some weight. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Why not give it a try? I literally had $1.64 in my bank account. My husband had to loan me the $50 to get started, and the rest is kind of history. Little did I didn't even know what network marketing marketing was at the time. I didn't know that there was corporate offices. I didn't know what there was ranks. I didn't know there was customer service. I just knew that I needed some money, and I knew I liked the product, and I knew that I could probably sell these little packages off to some friends of mine, because I knew I could probably help some mamas who were feeling the same way. So that's how I got introduced to network marketing, and here we are almost 8 full years later, just rocking and rolling.
Wow. So yeah, so no prior knowledge. Did you know you didn't even know network marketing existed prior to that first experience? Is that correct? Oh, that's crazy. That's the
Correct.
same as
No
me. Like when
idea.
I had 22, I got introduced to it. I had never heard of network marketing, didn't even know that there was such a thing. And like you, I'm a down and dirty dude. I'm like, I love hunting, fishing, being in the outdoors, and never considered law enforcement. But yeah, so wow. So you start this journey. You don't know anything about the comp plan or ranks or any of that stuff. And so I'm assuming when you first started out, well, first of all, sounds like you got ATM'd, right? So that's somebody ad tagged and messaged you and put you into some type of a product Facebook group, I'm assuming.
Yep, absolutely.
And what do you recall like that? And I'm curious, like, okay, so someone who's never heard of network marketing, kind of on the search, figure out what I'm going to do for a living. A friend, like what did the friend do exactly? Like how did they ATM you? I think that's kind of an interesting question. Like what did she say to you? What were your thoughts? Like what the hell are you putting me into? What is this thing that what were you thinking, and what was that initial experience like?
So I had just posted a couple like healthier recipes I was trying, because at the time I was about 6 months postpartum. So I was just and stopped breastfeeding, and mamas out there, they know what happens when you stop breastfeeding. You just blow up like a balloon and you gain a bunch of weight. So I had recently started posting that I was going to start working out and eating healthier, and I was super excited about that. And I think that kind of opened up the gateway for her to message me and say, "Hey, listen, I think I might have something for you. Just take a look. I added you to this group. Not sure if it's something you're interested in or not." And I was like, hell yeah, I'm interested. So that's kind of how it ended up working out. Is I think she looked at the things that I was posting, the things that I was searching for. I was, a closer friend to her throughout our high school years, and that's how she reached out to me.
Okay, so that's cool. So she was paying attention. So you guys that are watching or listening to this, like this is, her sponsor was like, oh, well, she's talking about getting healthy and losing weight and healthy recipes. So maybe a little note to self, like when you're on social media, if you're building on social media, yeah, you can blindly go ATM somebody, but I think you're going to have more success if you're like paying attention to what people are saying. I mean, you can learn a lot about people just by kind of scoping out their wall. I mean, with even if you didn't know somebody, without having a conversation with them, you can just kind of scroll through their wall and like, oh, like you did that with me. It'd be like, oh, this guy's totally into live music. He loves being out in the outdoors, loves skiing, loves fishing, loves all these things. And you wouldn't even have to know me. So that in and of itself is a very powerful lesson for people when it comes to prospecting, because you are clearly, an ideal prospect for her. So she puts you in the group, and then because you've never done network marketing and this whole experience is new to you, so you end up in the group. What are you experiencing the first thing, like when you go inside that group and you're like, what's this world that I've just entered? What's going on in here?
Well, the group itself was very exciting. There was a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, people posting their results, lots of customer testimonies, lots of giveaways and fun things going on. So it was definitely like intriguing to see the community within that group itself. But then also she did come at me, and she didn't just try to sell me the product. She tried to sell me the business, which is what I needed. And so when she came to me, well, at first I said, "Okay, so are you selling this? Because obviously if she's selling it, that means I can probably sell it too." And at that point, nobody knew we were struggling, but we were struggling so bad. I mean, we were like 3 months behind on our truck payment at that time. We were really, really, really struggling. And I needed that. Like God put that in my lap for a reason. So I asked her, I said, "So you're selling this. Does that mean I can sell it too?" And she's like, "Yeah, I joined as a distributor, and that means you can too." And so we kind of had that conversation back and forth. And so I ended up trying the product first. I tried it for 3 days, and I said, "Yep, absolutely. I'm in." Bought the membership, and the rest is kind of history as far as going the group. And then we were taught to ATM, so what just happened to me, I was taught to go do that to a bunch of other people. My company at the time had a sampling system, so that was a big seller too, as we were building our confidence selling these smaller sample packs and then building up into selling the bigger packs, especially as somebody who had no experience selling anything in her whole entire life. I really needed to build that confidence. So they talked a lot about sample selling in the group and how to convert from selling the smaller packages, getting their feet wet, allowing them to have a great experience that first week, and then moving them up into the bigger packages.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you a question. I know this didn't happen, but I'm just curious what your thoughts would be on this. So you go into this group that's clearly very active, right? There's a ton of people commenting, liking, sharing stories. There you can see there's like something's happening here. Had you gone into a group that was like crickets were chirping and it's like one post every, I don't know, every once in a while, do you think you would have had the same reaction, or you would have been like, yeah, there's really nothing going on here? Because I asked that for a reason, because I think one of the keys to, running well, for sure, one of the keys to running a successful ATM group is you got to get full buy-in. There's got to be people in there. People have got to be active. Otherwise, it just doesn't really serve its purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always envision it as if you walked into this room, and the room being the Facebook group in real life, if you walked into this party and everyone's sitting on the couch playing on their phones, not talking to each other, like that's not very much fun. But if you walk into an absolute rave, there's a live band, red solo cups are floating around, like everyone's just having so much fun. You want to be a part of that. It creates kind of a FOMO of, I want to be a part of this community, versus something where it's quiet, there's crickets, like you said. I think it definitely plays a role in whether people's energies are going to connect to the opportunity slash products or not.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, because ATM is like a very, for I don't know, the last 8 to 10 years at least, it's been a very big strategy used by network marketers and a lot of different companies. It's a highly effective strategy. But again, I want to make sure that people who are hearing this, they understand, like, if you're not currently doing an ATM group, or you're wondering why your ATM group isn't producing well, it's because you got 3 people in there and they're in there once every few weeks. So, and we'll get into talking about the creation of an ATM group and what's involved there. I'm sure my audience is really curious about that. So if you can like kind of so you're brand new, never touched a network marketing business before. You walk into this really raging community. I'm in, sign up. Now it's time to go. What did you do that first 6 months to a year in terms of building? Like, what were your action steps and like your DMO, your daily method of operation that you did? And like, what are the things that you did to get you where you were in that company? Because now you're in your second company. Some things went awry in the other company. We don't need to really talk about that, but you spent like 7 years there, incredibly successful there. Like, what were the things like you can specifically point to? Like, if I was sitting, well, I'm sitting with you right now, and I'm like, hey, girl, I want to know, how the hell did you do what you did? Like, what did you do? Because I would love to replicate the kind of success you've had.
Well, it's kind of a loaded question because, Todd, what worked 7, 8 years ago, that doesn't work now. But just to give you the
Yeah.
nitty gritty of what we did back then is we were taught to dump our absolute whole Facebook groups. Anybody that we could possibly invite to these Facebook groups, dump them all in, dump them all in. It didn't matter if they accepted the invite or not, because that wasn't a thing back then. So we could just load people into these groups. I mean, by the 500s at a time. And so we were taught to do that. And then we were taught to get our audience to do the same thing. Hey, I'll give you a free sample of my product if you go and add 100 friends to my group. Does that really work anymore? No, not really, because Facebook jail is a thing now, right? We don't want to put all of our customers and clients and everything in Facebook jail for asking them to just absolutely mass load people into these groups. Now it's more of a personal invitation. You kind of have to make sure they're interested first. Okay, accept the invite. There's these group questions now. Things are a little bit more complex now, but it's also not a bad thing because it makes it so much more personable and it makes it relationship building. And honestly, I think network marketing got so far away from relationships, and that's why it saw the turn that it did over these past 3 or 4 years. I mean, since the pandemic, really. So, I did do that. And then another thing we did back then is we actually posted in garage sale sites. Like your local town has a Facebook garage sale. Hey, I'm selling my leaf blower. Come and pick it up, $20 or whatever. We had local sites like that. Those were starting to come up and be up and coming things. And so we started posting ads and like garage sale, yard sale sites, local community sites, all on Facebook. And honestly, that is how I grew my network. That's how I grew for the first 4, 5, 6 years in my network marketing business. But then again, Facebook changed. All the social media things were changing over and over. We had to learn some new skills. And, the garage sale groups, if you go in them now, they're all spammy posts from people, trying to hack your accounts and sell you other people's cars. I mean, it's totally different now. So now I would say the biggest thing that we use is obviously reels are huge. Video marketing truly is the future. If you're not doing video marketing in your network marketing business, you are doing yourself and your team a disservice. You are literally leaving money on the table. Video marketing is everything. The fastest growing app for social media has been TikTok for the last 5 years, and it's going to continue to be for a reason because video marketing is the future. But other than video marketing, interest groups on Facebook, there's hundreds of thousands of bazillions of millions of people that are looking for exactly what you have to offer. It doesn't matter what you are selling or what you are a part of listening to this. If you're looking for a community of people specifically that are interested in what you have to offer, there is a Facebook group for it out there. And there's probably 30, 40, 50, 60,000 people in that group. I don't know about you, but if I was to sit down and try to go through a group of 50,000, 60,000 people all by myself, it would probably take me the next 10 years. There is plenty of people out there. You just actually have to go and find them now instead of expecting them all to come to you.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple of those things real quick. So the reel strategy, like I'm on video pretty much every day, like literally every day, some form of video, whether it's a reel, a short, a video blog post, an interview. I'm very comfortable with video, but the truth is most of the people that are watching this probably aren't. And video definitely dominates. I 100% agree with you on that. So when it comes to video marketing, especially if somebody's like watching this and they're like, okay, well, she's saying video marketing is hot and I should be doing that. Where do I start? Like, how do you create reels that are actually going to get, views, followers? And then I think as importantly, or more importantly, is how do we take that reel and turn that into a converted lead versus just going out there and entertaining the world with no call to action? So I'm kind of curious, like what your if you're going to teach, okay, again, I'm here, I'm new. Let's say I've never done a video, I've never done a reel. Like, Todd, this is what you need to do. Like, what would you tell me?
Oh my gosh, that's also kind of a loaded question because we could literally sit on here and do Reels trainings for the next, 5 days straight and still not get all the information in, honestly. But the biggest thing that I know, if you go to a class and the teacher's up there trying to teach you how to play the piano, you've read all the books, you've listened to all of the audio instructions, and then you sit down in front of the piano. Do you know how to play the piano? No, because your fingers haven't touched those keys. You haven't learned the actual skill of playing the piano. You don't have that muscle memory. It's something that's an actual learned skill. Learning reels, TikToks, Facebook reels, this is the exact same thing. If you don't get on your cellular device that we all have, get on TikTok, get on Instagram, get on Facebook, and press the dang buttons, you are never going to learn how to do it. So that's the biggest thing that I can like tip that I can give to you is press the buttons. Accidentally post the wrong video, accidentally misspell the words, accidentally use the wrong filter or whatever it may be, because every single person that you see that's viral on Facebook or TikTok right now, guess what? Once upon a time, they also made their first reel. And everybody starts at start, but you actually have to do the action steps, press the buttons to learn how to do it. And then also, we've all heard facts tell, stories sell, right? Who are you trying to tell a story to? I think is the biggest thing with Facebook Reels. You have to decide who it is that you are trying to reach and tell them a story. People say call to actions are dead, but at the end of the day, if you are telling somebody a story and you have that hook and they relate to you, guess what? Those people are never going to go away from you. Those people are now a part of your network, a part of your influence, a part of your community. And so it's deciding who it is that you're trying to reach and what they are looking for and what they want to hear, and that's the kind of content that you're going to be posting. So for me, I post a lot like funny husband and wife videos, or obviously motherhood. I'm a stay-at-home mom slash full-time business owner, and how do I do it all, and the chaos, and how do we function? How do we do that? And so I post a lot about that, obviously about the products and the pain points that we solve with the products that we have. Whatever it is that you are a part of out there, there is somebody looking for you. Who is that person, and what would draw their eye and set you apart from the next reel that they're going to see?
Yeah, because reels are just like you're just scrolling through and like you got to capture their attention so quickly. There's
Yeah.
got to be something like immediate, like if you don't get my attention in 2 seconds, I'm gone down to the next one. So how do you take what I've seen a lot of people do that I can tell are complete novices. I mean, it's cool that they're trying it and that they're doing something with it, but they're just in their business pitch, business pitch, product. And you're talking about doing funny videos with your husband or just, the life of a mom. How do you, or do you, take those types of reels and segue into the business, or are those reels specifically just for, entertainment and laughs and, engaging that audience?
So for me, Jesse Lee taught this to me years and years and years and years and years ago. It's the 4-2-1 method. And there is definitely a method behind that madness. So the 4-2-1 method is, back in the day, you weren't supposed to post on Facebook 800 times a day. You're supposed to post like maybe once or twice because that's what the algorithm asked of you. Now it's totally different. But back in the day, Jesse Lee taught us that, if you post 4 days about your personal life, so you're not being a spammy pammy, you're not just vomiting your business or your product all over your people, you're not burning out your audience. You have to post about your personal life to earn the know, like, and trust, right? People need to know you, like you, and trust you to be able to join you or purchase from you. That's just a bottom line fact across the network marketing industry as a whole, right? So 4 days a week that you are posting about personal life. It could be a selfie with an inspirational quote. It could be family pictures. It could be funny memes, whatever it is to do, like makeup things, like, I don't know, anything that has to do with anything except your business or your product, right? Because you don't want to burn out your audience. Then 2 days a week, you are like at that in between area where it's like I could be posting a selfie with an inspirational quote, but I'm wearing a shirt with my company name on it, or I'm taking a selfie, but I have something in the background that is like my product or something. So it's like that's like dropping hints that this network marketing opportunity is intertwined into my life, right? Where it's like a halfway between point of, it's personable, but it's dropping hints of selling as well. And then there's 1 day a week where you are full blown, maybe your live video, selling samples, maybe you're posting, your before and after, full blown live selling hard that 1 day. So now I've taken that and I've kind of taken that concept and I've warped it into what would work in reels. And so obviously, is it still important to post and talk about your product? Absolutely. But here's the deal with going, like, let's just say me and my husband make this, there's this reel right now that's like flip your wife upside down. It's this gonna turn your whole life upside down. And it's totally viral right now. But what happens if that's the video that goes viral? What's gonna happen? That's going to bring traffic to my page. And Todd, if I'm doing my job as an attraction marketer and I'm dropping hints of my product, I'm dropping hints of my opportunity, and these people come to my page, they're not just going to look at the flipping your wife upside down video. They're going to look at every other piece of content that I've put out there. And then guess what? They come to my page. Guess who gets plugged into somebody's algorithm? I do. Guess whose face they're going to start seeing all over their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? Mine. And it's going to be all the other pieces of content that I've created. So I think really putting an emphasis on balancing out your content that you're putting out there, making sure you're not being spammy pammy and vomiting your product and your opportunity all over people, because at the end of the day, people don't buy that. People buy you. And that's the most important thing, is they need to be able to know you, like you, and trust you. And you can do that by the content that you put out there, but it cannot be just your company. It cannot be just you either. There has to be a healthy balance. And let's talk about, posting about the product versus the opportunity. Some people sell the opportunity with the product attached to it. Some people sell the product with an opportunity attached to it. And it honestly just depends on the person and who their audience is. But like for me, like you said, posting husband wife stuff, my target audience honestly is young moms. So if I'm posting stuff about being a young overstimulated mom, guess who's going to be attracted to me? Guess who's now going to be seeing all my product videos, all my product posts, my opportunity videos, all those young moms that I was trying to target. But I didn't do that by pitching them on my product. I did that by posting some funny reel with my kid. So finding a way to bring the people to you usually has nothing to do with your product.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. Because and I think balance is absolutely the appropriate word. You can't be all business and you can't be all, just all personal stuff, because then people will have no idea what the heck you're involved in. I mean, you're spending most of these people are spending all this time on social media with the intention of how can I attract people. But if you don't put in those little product hints or little business hints or even a direct business invite or a direct product invite, then you're missing it. So I mean, that's perfect balance. That's like Vaynerchuk's book, like jab, jab, right hook. It's like you're giving value, value,
Yeah.
value, and then you come in, right? So, and Jessie, man, I mean, she was such an incredible woman. I mean, we all miss her. She was such an amazing soul. So, and taught a lot of people like yourself just amazing, valuable tools that you're obviously still using today. So, you talked about like the Facebook groups, like, and going into these I don't know, what do you call them, informational groups. Like, I mean, we know that there's groups for every conceivable situation, like you can even fathom. Like, even try, I would say try it one day. Like, think of some oddball something or other and go blah 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 Facebook group. Like, I don't know, one-legged bicyclists. There's probably a group for one-legged bicyclists. I don't know how you do it, but so I'm really curious to hear like how you utilize getting into these different Facebook groups and end up monetizing it for your business. Because what I've found, and I've taught a lot on this, and I have my, my thoughts around it, but what I see a lot of networkers do is they immediately think, oh, I'm going to go into a network marketing group, or I'm going to go into a direct sales group, or I'm going to go into an entrepreneurial group. And what I've found is it's kind of like what you talked about with running ads in these places. It becomes all this, it just becomes a mess of everybody trying to pitch each other versus finding a group of some type of an interest that you have a genuine interest in. So what types of groups do you look for, and what do you do in those groups to end up actually getting business out of those groups?
So for me specifically, the more specific you can be, the better. I obviously am with a health and wellness company. So obviously I have health and wellness interests. I've had health issues in the past that I've dealt with. And I think the more I'm trying not to be super specific. I don't want to like say any like, health conditions or anything like that. Obviously we have to be careful. But I have experienced issues in the past, like just with being a female, and I think that's just generalized enough where people are going to know what I'm talking about. But if you search those specific like issues in the search bar of your Facebook and you click groups, there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of groups and hundreds of thousands of women who are literally dealing with the exact same thing. So if I know that I was struggling, I found something that helped, and now I have a solution and I need to go tell all these women about it. That's how I look at it. It could also be something like being a stay-at-home mom. Millions of groups, millions and millions of groups of stay-at-home moms looking for potentially an opportunity out there. It just depends on who you are, your past, what, this opportunity has done for you, what type of company that you're a part of, and what you're selling, what pain point does that solve? Because there are hundreds of thousands of people out here looking for a solution to their problem, but it has to be what you have. So for me specifically, like I said, health and wellness company, and let's just say there is a group out there for people that are binge eaters. Okay. So for me, I also was a binge eater. So I'm going to go in that group and I'm going to teach them about protein intake. I'm going to teach them about hydration. I'm going to teach them about tips and tricks, that habits you can start on a daily basis to overcome that. I'm not going to talk about my product in these groups. I'm not going to go in here with just arms swinging of sell, 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 sell. Number one, you're going to get blocked. And number two, you're not going to make any friends. And that's the goal in these groups, is you're going in there to make friends. If you're going in there with dollar signs in your eyes, looking at these people as a number in your back office, you are never going to win in interest groups. You have to go into these groups looking to grow your network and find like-minded people who maybe were like-minded of you 2 years ago. Maybe you don't struggle with these things anymore, but you once did. And you can also become the expert in these groups. You can become the knowledge. You can teach them the things that you did and become like a pillar of that small community, teaching these people and giving them value of what you have to offer with nothing to do with a product. And then you become their friends, and then they're invited into your network. And then you're on these side conversations in Messenger because you found people that you relate to. Maybe it's something you related to 2 years ago, but you still have that story, and those people still need what you have. And so I think it's just being specific and finding the people who are looking for you. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah, so I think that's such a it makes me think of a guy. I had a coaching client that, and this was with a meetup. So I mean, meetups are kind of similar to Facebook groups, but except they're, typically physical meetups. And I challenged him to go to a meetup, and he came back from the meetup, and I said, did you go to a meetup? He said, I did. I go, what'd you go to? He said, I went to a chess meetup. And I was like, oh, bro, I had no idea you played chess. He goes, I don't. I go, well, do you want to learn how to play chess? He goes, hell no. And I go, like, what? I go, was it fun? He goes, no, it was like, nails on a chalkboard. I was like, well, why would you go to something that you don't know anything about or have no interest in? He's like, I don't know. And he clearly wasn't listening to me during the coaching session. Partially, he heard meetup, but he didn't hear the rest of the story. So it sounds to me like we're on the same page. You're like going into groups that maybe you have a personal affinity towards or a personal experience where you can be a value added contributor. Or the other thing that I teach is like, okay, maybe you don't know a whole lot about that, but you're really interested in learning about that. You have a real authentic interest. So those are the two types of groups that when I'm teaching this, that I have people do. The question that I have for you is, now, of course, okay, let's say you're going in there into this, I don't know what, let's just call it a mom group, and you're providing, value, and you're in there and you're like sharing good stuff that these women are like, wow, this is awesome, she's sharing great stuff with me. Now, of course, many of those people are going to go, who is this chick? And they're going to go check out your Facebook page. And, some of them may send you friend requests, some may not, some may just voyeur and never like do anything beyond that. What is your conversion strategy to take somebody from going into a value, one of these interest groups where you're adding value, and you're either sending them a friend request, or you DMing them? Like what is that segue like for you?
So I have a strategy. I call it the LLCM. Okay, so LLCM. I'm going to explain the acronym in a second here. So basically, what I do is, like, let's just say I make a post in a mom group. It's about being able to make my kids' Christmas recital. I'm so excited. Look at their outfits, like, because that's what we do in mom groups. We literally just brag about our kids a lot. So I make a post. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, look at them up there on stage singing. Did you guys have a Christmas? Like, whatever. I'm asking questions. I'm trying to engage. And let's just say I get 100 comments, okay? Because people want to engage in these groups. That's why people are on Facebook, you guys, is to be social. Social media is for being social. And I think some people forget that sometimes, especially people that are new in network marketing. They're scared to reach out. They're scared to send friend requests. They're scared to like invade people's privacy. There's no such thing as privacy on social media. People are on social media to be social. So that's the bottom line, number one rule. The next thing is, I call it trolling. Okay, I call it trolling. You hear about trolls on social media all the time, like commenting bad things on your pictures or videos or whatever. But I think that this is something that can be an income producing troll. Okay, so you're trolling your post, you're trolling the comments, and you're just going through and you're seeing who's engaging with you. You click on their profile, and the number one question I ask myself is, could I be friends with this person in real life? Because I encourage people, especially my team, to invite people into your network that you actually like. There is so many human beings on this earth. There are so many human beings on social media. You do not just need to go into an interest group and friend the first 50 people that you find. These people could be somebody who you absolutely clash with. You have nothing in common. You have totally different interests or opinions or whatever it may be. You're never going to sign that person. You're never going to engage in a healthy conversation with that person. So be very specific about the people who you are inviting into your community as well, because your social media is your community. So I go through and I ask myself, could I be friends with this person in real life based on the light things that I see on their Facebook profile? Like, how old are their kids? Maybe what are their political interests? Do they live on the farm or do they live in the city? Like, are we going to relate in any way, shape, or form other than the opportunity that I have, right? So I think that's super important as well, to be very, very picky about who you're inviting to be a part of your life, because at the end of the day, what's our goal? We want them to be in business with us. I spend a lot of time with my business partners, and I know a lot of other leaders do too. So if you don't like the people you're bringing into business with you, that's your own fault, because there's a lot of humans out there that you will like. You just have to kind of be picky about the strangers that you're inviting in. So I go through the comments, I send some friend requests, and now we're going to go back to the LLCM. So that's an acronym I use. And what I do is I send them a friend request. And as soon as they accept my friend request, I wait 3 days. After the 3 days, if they don't see anything on my page, they don't reach out to me, nothing like that. Like, I let them warm up. I call it marinating. And I know I have weird words for this, but listen, it works for me. It's a healthy analogy. My team gets it. I call it marinating. I let them marinate on my page and see if they see something that sparks their interest, or if they engage with me. Maybe they message me for my story, a live video, a reel I did. I let them have time to come to me first. That way it doesn't seem like I'm attacking them, right? I'm not an attack dog. I'm not an attacking sales dog. So I give them 3 days. Then what I do is I go to their Facebook page. The first L is I love their profile picture. this person's profile picture might be 2 years old, but I go in and I love their profile picture, like the love emoji. And what's that going to do? It's going to give them a separate notification that Allie France loved your profile picture. Then the next L is I go and love their most recent 3 posts that they have on their Facebook page. So now they have 4 notifications from Allie France in their notification center. Who is this Allie France girl and why is she loving on me on social media? Next, I'm going to comment on those same 3 posts, or maybe their story or their profile picture. I'm going to comment on 3 posts on their social media. What does that do? Now they have 7 different notifications from this crazy Allie France girl that is loving on them on social media. Now they know my name. Now they're probably going to remember me. Now they're probably going to be on my Facebook checking out to see who the heck I am. Okay, that gives them another chance to come to me first. And so I always allow that to happen because a lot of the times just that alone works. And then it's their idea to reach out to you. And then it allows you to feel a little bit less like spammy pammy. I don't really feel like reaching out to people. It opens up the door to that conversation, the floodgates, I call it. So we have the LLC, and then the last one is then you wait 3 more days and then you're in their messenger. Okay. The way that I get into people's messenger is I'm just genuine. Like I said, guys, if you don't have anything in common with these people, you are trying to find the wrong people, because it is so easy for me to reach out to a mom and say, oh my gosh, how old are your kids? Oh my gosh, your daughter's new haircut is flipping adorable. Absolutely adorable. How old is she? Oh my gosh, I love those drinks too. What do you order from that store? Oh my gosh, I also love, whatever it is that they're posting on their stories. Maybe they posted a recipe. Maybe they posted what they're having for dinner and you want the recipe. Find a way to get into their messenger, and you guys, it has nothing to do with your opportunity or your product. You are simply trying to build a relationship with this person, because at the end of the day, how many people buy on the first purchase, or buy on the first contact, excuse me? Almost zero. It takes 7 to 11 contacts with somebody to get them to purchase your product or join your opportunity. So why try to sell them on the first contact anyways? All you're going to do is look like a spammy pammy, and nobody likes to look like a spammy pammy, and nobody likes a spammy pammy. So be a human first. That's what I encourage, is be a human first and try to create a friendship or a relationship with this person by asking them questions and giving them compliments. My favorite is giving compliments. I'm a total hype girl. I just want to tell everybody that they look so pretty, or they look so smart, or they look so great, they look so happy. That's my favorite. Who's going to get mad at somebody on social media for being in your inbox and saying, oh my gosh, I have no idea who you are, but like you just look like such a happy human being, and I don't know why, but my energy was attracted to you. Do you want to be mom friends? Like that, genuinely, that's what I do. And it works really great, because if I'm doing my job, like I said before, my job, attraction marketing, posting a healthy balance on my social media, eventually it's the snowball effect. Eventually, these people are going to talk to me, but I have to do this consistently. I can't just do this on the first day of the month, get 3 new people in my network, and then not do anything until the last day of the month and expect my business to grow. This is something where it's the snowball effect. So it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as you grow your network, and people are in your network longer. Some people are going to buy on the 3rd day they're your friends. Some people are going to buy 3 years from now. But in order to find those people along the way, you have to consistently be doing the LLCM.
Wow. This stuff is so powerful. So, I mean, like I'm sitting here, I'm taking notes, and I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I like, let them marinate 3 days. Love their profile picture. Comment on some of their posts. And now, when you go into the messenger, are you typing or are you verbalizing? Or does it depend?
That is a great question. It definitely depends on the person. Obviously, verbalizing, sending those voice messages, you guys, you are going to be 10 steps ahead. A lot of people are nervous to do that, and that's okay. I understand. If you're very beginner, you're very new, maybe you're super shy, I totally get it. It's something that practice makes perfect. You're going to stumble over your words. You're going to accidentally say the wrong thing. Your excitement might not be there yet because you're so nervous you don't know what to say. So it depends on the person, and it also depends on how much time I have too. Like if it's a busy day for me, I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2. Like today, I'm coming to you live from a park in my car with Todd today, because this is just what fit into my schedule, right? So it depends on how much time I have that day to do those reach outs for me. So obviously, sending those verbalized messages is super natural for me now, but maybe 5 years ago it wasn't. So I would have just sent a message, hey, do you have the recipe to that chicken that you posted the other night? Just curious, it looked really good. Just typing that out would be a lot faster than saying, oh my gosh, how do I say this? And, deleting it 100 times, and I stumbled in my words, got to restart. So it depends on the day, but verbalizing, if you're comfortable with that, or if you're looking to get out of your comfort zone and start doing that, it's definitely going to be more powerful, because they're going to hear the energy in your voice.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I mean, I can feel your energy. And if you reached out to me and said what you said, I'd be like, yeah, I want to be mom friends with her. She sounds awesome. So you have this like, just infectious energy about you. So I think that's obviously going to work to your advantage. So you've let them marinate. You've reached out. They're obviously aware of you. You send them a direct message, has nothing to do with the business, whatever. It was like, hey, do you have that recipe or whatever it is that you said? I'm twofold question. Like, number one, what percentage would you say of these people eventually reach out to you? 'Cause this is because I know I'm thinking like the audience right now, right? They're like, okay, when are we getting down to business? How are they going to end up in my business? Because at this point, you're just loving on them. You're like genuinely, authentically like saying hello, and there's no underlying like you're not buttering them up for something, right? And at least it doesn't feel at all like there's no buttering up going on. So I'm sure a percentage of those people, probably a small percentage, reaches out and says, "Hey, like, well, what is it you do?" Or like, what's going on? Number one, I don't want to guess, but I'm guessing it's a smaller percentage. At some point, you're reaching out to these people, or like, at what point do you do that? And then how do you do that? How do you move from like I'm sharing cool stuff and asking you questions, and now it's like, hey, I want to ask you a question. Like, and what does that question look like if it is a question? I'm just curious to, because I know the whole audience right now is like, okay, when is she? I know she's getting business. Like, when and how is she getting the business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I wouldn't say there's a necessary percentage. And it's going to depend on if you are doing a great job at finding your people or not. If you don't relate to these people, your percentage is going to be close to zero. If you're just slinging friend requests out there and adding all the random people, it's going to be close to zero. But for me, like I said before, I am being so decisive on the people that I'm bringing into my network. And you guys, like I said, this happens after they accept your friend request. So these people, number one, they said yes to you already. By accepting your friend request, they said yes, they want to be in your network to you already. So that's already making this lead a way hotter lead. The next thing is, depending on their response to your compliments or your questions, some people are still, even if they're your people, they're still going to be ice freaking cold. And I am never going to push somebody that is ice freaking cold, because I know that there's 10 people out there that are hot. I know that there's 10 more hot leads out there that would be way more worth my time reaching out to today than this person that might have ignored my last 3 messages or responded with a thumbs up or a K. Like, these people obviously maybe don't want to talk to me. I'm not dumb. I'm going to take those hints and say, you know what? I'm just going to back off. I'm going to let you marinate a little bit longer. But like I said, they accept your friend request. You're only allowed 5,000 friends on Facebook. So what does this do? This goes into my normal follow-up funnel. These people are, number one, going to be plugged into my algorithm. Every single person on my friends list gets at least one message from me every year. Guess what? It's their birthday. How easy is it to track your people on your friends list? Because every day you get a birthday notification. Just go and wish everybody on your news feed that's their birthday today. Go wish them a happy birthday. Send them a voice message. Say, hey, I know you don't know me, but it was your birthday today and I just saw it and I just want to wish you happy birthday. I do this to everybody on my friends list. So hope you have a great day. Maybe we can connect soon. Boom. Floodgates are open. The conversation is there. You're not going to pitch them on their birthday, okay? Please don't misunderstand me. Don't pitch them on their birthday. But this opens up the conversation. And when you are in Messenger with these people, it plugs you into their algorithm. So the goal is to just get their eyeballs on what you're doing. And then all of a sudden, over time, they're going to start liking your stories. They're going to start, excuse me, they're going to start viewing your stories. They're going to start accidentally liking some posts. And then guess what? If they liked your post, they're probably interested. So then you can start messaging all the people liking your post, commenting on your post, watching your live videos, drop a replay below, even if they're not interested or maybe not interested yet, but they drop hashtag replay below in your live video. They're there for a reason. Guess what? You can reach out. And it just depends on the person. So a lot of people I could pitch right away. If it's a stay-at-home mom, she's like, gosh, we're struggling right now. Like, if she tells me that, boom, the floodgates open immediately. And I'm pitching her right now, right then and there, because she needs what I have. But if it's cold and it's like very light conversation and I can tell they're not quite ready, that's going to dim your chances. And odds are they're probably going to block you if you pitch them after they send you a blue thumbs up, right? Like, it's just common sense. So it depends on the person. But like I said, they go into my follow-up funnel. And just like I follow up with every single person on my friends list every day, I do my birthdays. And then after that, it's the people who are viewing my stories, liking my posts, commenting on my posts. And I'm going through my friends list and finding the people who are on the very bottom, who are like the people who you haven't talked to in a while. And I'm going through and I'm LLCMing them too, even though they're already on my friends list. You can do this on a monthly basis, guys. You can go through and comment on their most recent post every single month. You can go through and send them a message from their story or a compliment every single month, every other month, every 90 days. It takes me a long time to get through my friends list, almost 5,000 people, right? So, just depends on the follow up system that you have and how many people you have coming through your funnel as well.
How do you keep all that organized? Like that, so how do you remember, do you have a spreadsheet, or do you have a way, like, how do you keep yourself like knowing who you reached out to or haven't reached out to in a while? Is there some kind of methodology that you have in place for that?
The only thing that I do keep track of is my LLCMs. I write down their name in my planner the moment that they accept my friend request. And then I wait 3 days. I go back 3 days in my planner, and those are the three people I'm LLCMing today. Right. So that's really easy to keep track of. You're literally writing down three names in your planner and then going back and doing that on a daily basis. And it creates this consistency, right? If you do that every day, you're talking to 90 new people this month. That's incredible. And so, as far as like, talking to people on my friends list, they're just going to get random touches. I'll randomly go through and say, I'm going to talk to all the A's on my friends list today. I'm going to talk to all the F's on my friends list today. So there's no really method to, for me at least. I mean, maybe there is out there that somebody else knows this magical secret sauce to getting through 5,000 people consistently. I don't know it personally. I'm just being super honest. It just depends on who's engaging. There's going to be recycling too that's going through in your friends list. People's accounts get hacked, people's accounts get deactivated, people tell you they're not interested. And there's going to be times where you're going to go through and unfriend people and then make room for new. So it's going to be a constant cycle of older people that you've talked to for a really long time and new people that you're bringing in on a daily basis.
Got it. Got it. So this company that you're building now, you've been there since December of 23. So the date of us recording this, we're in October of 24. So roughly 10 months into the business, you've hit, a top global leadership rank in that company. Now, granted, you had 7 years of prior experience and knowledge, so it's not like you're starting from scratch and you don't know what you're doing. Did you do anything differently this time around? And also, like, what strategies? Because you talked earlier about, like, well, what worked before on Facebook. I mean, they're always changing stuff, so we've always got to adapt, right? But yeah, what did you do specifically to get there so quickly? And and are you doing things today that are so different than you were, let's call it 7, 8 years ago?
Yeah, definitely business is different today. We recently started, I shouldn't say we, I've recently started building a very local team, which has been super exciting. That's something I never did before. And I realized that it was simply my lack of confidence. I maybe wasn't as fully confident in what I was doing as I am right now. So I've definitely started building more in-person local communities. We call them sip and samples. So we've been going in, parks and bar and grills in town, vendor events, and literally just setting up tables and letting people sample products and putting those people into our network. So that's something we are doing differently now than we were in the past, is really just getting in front of people, not utilizing social media as much. Obviously reels are super important, live video is super important, all that stuff is basically the same with some tweaks. But I think the biggest thing now is being so confident in the opportunity that we have, that we are literally telling everyone we know. And that includes in person. And as before, I wasn't as confident to build in person. If I was in person and I was like, I had 100 people around me, you wouldn't hear me talking about the opportunity because I was way too shy. Now I am the loudest person. Like, hey, you come within 5 feet, maybe not this aggressive, but you come within 5 feet of me and you're knowing about, my opportunity or product that I have. Again, not that aggressive, but just being so confident and being able to show up and get in front of people. And they say that the network marketing industry is changing. We've gotten so far into automation and making sure that everything is so on autopilot. Sending out these requests or having your inbox automized. And there is power to those things. Don't get me wrong, but I think so many network marketing companies got so far, or so many leaders, I should say, got so far away from the human connection. That's why their business is not growing right now, because after 2020, people were cooped up in their houses. Social media online is all that we had. And people got burnt out on that. People want to sit in a park with five girlies and sip their little drinky drinks and talk about stuff. That's what people are craving, is that community right now. And if you are building that in-person local community, you are 10 steps ahead of the rest of the network marketing industry, in my opinion, because a lot of companies out there are teaching the opposite still. They're still going in the route of automation and business is done for you and you don't have to show up, or 5 minutes a day, or all these slogans that you see out here these days. And when in reality, real human beings want to talk to real human beings. There is nothing that pisses me off more, honestly, than if I see an influencer on social media, 150,000, 200,000 followers, whatever, and I message them a question about something that they posted and I don't hear back. And I'm like, what is the point of having all this influence if you are not going to talk to these people? Like, my question will sit in their inbox for months. And then all of a sudden it'll be an automated bot that comes through and cleans it up and responds something that I didn't even ask. And there's nothing that makes me more upset than that. And I think the way that you can set yourself apart right now is by being a real ass human.
No doubt. So, so I don't, and nobody does, who's watching this. Nobody's like, oh, Allie, she's shy. Because obviously you're not. Like, you have like energy, fire, you got this robustness that you have, but you didn't have it before. So I want to ask you two final questions. One, there's a lot of people. Like, here's the thing, like, we don't know the exact percentage, but it's in the 90+% of people that get into network marketing fail. And it's not that there's something wrong with the network marketing profession. And it's not necessarily that there's something wrong with that human being, but there's a high failure rate. I have my opinions. We won't get into that necessarily, but like, my first question is, how did you okay, let's say we got somebody they're watching you and they're like, oh my gosh, she's got so much energy. I want to be like her. How do you go from like kind of being shy and unsure and lacking confidence to the Allie that we all see today?
Oh gosh, that's a long story. Well, you guys, at the end of the day, network marketing and owning a business in general, it's not even network marketing. All this is developing yourself with a product or business opportunity attached to you. Your paycheck will never, ever, ever outgrow who you are as a human or your mindset. So if you are limiting yourself to be this shy, quiet little person that's only wanting to make $500, you are literally putting a glass ceiling on yourself and saying that's all you're going to be. But if you open up your mind and you develop yourself and you learn these skills and you learn new things and you learn how to communicate and you learn things about just the human nature and how the human mind works with sales. I mean, there's so much to learn. That is something that's on my DMO. You asked me about my DMO earlier, and I don't think I answered your question. One thing that's on my DMO every single day is I learn something new every single solitary day, whether it be a skills tactic or a sales tactic, whether it be, something new about social media, something new, a fact about, network marketing companies, something new about the industry. It could also be something about an ingredient in my product. It could be something as small as that. But learning something new and growing your mind every single day is going to turn you into the person that is the full potential of you. That person is already within you. That person is already within you. You just have to be able to bring that person out to their full potential.
Very well said. Very well said. Okay, my final question is this. You've in the last 8+ years, you worked with a lot of people. Some have won big, done incredibly well, and a lot of people have not, right? That's just, we know we know what the numbers are, right? So what do you think that the biggest mistakes people make are that cause them to not win in the network marketing space?
Well, I will tell you, there is one mistake that people make when they enter the network marketing space and it quote unquote doesn't work for them. That simple mistake is giving up. Because the only way that you can fail in the network marketing industry, that's why I think it's so beautiful. Like, this network marketing industry is freaking gorgeous because of this one thing. You will only fail if you stop. And it is a decision that's up to you, but you have to be willing to put in the work. People join network marketing and but it also has to do with the people that they're joining. Like, if you're joining somebody and you're saying, oh, the business is done for you, work 5 minutes a day, it's automated, da 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 da, you're literally attracting lazy people. You're attracting lazy people and you're shooting yourself in the foot by bringing in these people who don't want to go to work. And so by doing that, those are the people that are failing, because they're people who are attracting them into this space are setting them up for failure. I don't know who told you that this was not work. This is network marketing. I don't know who says this. This is network marketing, not no work marketing, right? This takes
Yeah.
hard work. It takes hard work. You might still be working 40 hours a week, but you get to pick that 40 hours. It doesn't have to be the 40 hours while your kids are home during the summer. It could be, 2 hours a night here, 2 hours in the morning. You get to pick your time. That's why they call it time freedom. Doesn't mean you don't have to go to work. It means that you get to pick when you are working, because this takes work. It takes grit. It takes effort. It takes persistence, and it takes dedication. Nobody that succeeds in the network marketing industry puts a deadline on their success and says, if I'm not this by this date, or if I'm not making this amount of money by this day and age, I'm giving up. I'm quitting. Because you might as well just quit today, because you're putting a death wish on your business. And I truly believe that. And there are people who are going to come in and give it their all. It just takes somebody who's hungry, and it just takes somebody who's willing. And if you are those two things, you absolutely will succeed in the network marketing industry. But if you're already giving yourself a deadline, if you're already, worrying is like praying for something that you don't want to happen, right? So if you're already saying these things like, oh, I'm worried that I won't, know enough people, or, I'm 3 days in and I haven't made a sale yet, and I haven't, had this big brand partner join me or whatever, you're literally telling yourself that this isn't going to work for you. So I think the biggest mistake that people make when they join the network marketing industry is, number one, if they join a person who is making it look so easy, that person probably isn't succeeding. I will just say that right now, because if they're making it look easy, that means they're not working. And the next thing is joining and expecting to have no changes made in your life. Network marketing is so powerful. It's beautiful, like I said, but it takes work, and you actually have to show up. And the biggest thing is we live in a society where we're used to people telling us what to do. We are used to our bosses saying, you can only go to the bathroom at this time of the day. You can only eat your lunch at this time of the day. You can't go outside right now. You can't go pick your kid up from school. But you also have this to-do list, your honey-do list, that you have to get done for your boss. We're used to having that. Whereas network marketing, you don't have that. You're your boss. But that's the cool part, is you're literally paid on your work ethic. If you want to make a lot of money, work a lot. If you want to make a little money, work a little. You're literally paid as the time and effort that you put into this. And for somebody like me, who I am not afraid of hard work, that was really intriguing. But for somebody who is maybe a little bit lazy and they are scared of hard work, this might not be the industry for you. And I'll just flat up say it.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I see people that are fully capable, have all the goods, if you will, and they don't make it here because either A, they choose not to apply themselves, or they do it for 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever it is, and then they bail out. So, I honestly, and I've been doing this for 35 plus years, and I've worked with thousands and thousands of people. The only reasons people fail is either A, they don't do the work, or they don't do the right work for long enough, or they quit. And like it boggles my mind. I've worked with so many amazing human beings that could have been great. They could have been exceptional networkers, but they're like, oh, I'm not making 10 grand in 2 months, so they bail. And then they go trash talk network marketing and say that didn't work. That's, whatever. And it's like, dude, you didn't even give it a shot. Like you didn't even apply yourself. So Allie, I really appreciate you. I know you're a very busy lady, and the fact that, I mean, you're you're literally in a park in your car doing this interview, which is amazing. And I know you're probably going to be running off to another appointment after this, but my audience really appreciates it. I certainly do, and so many great chunks of information. And guys that are watching this, you know what? Like every time I end one of these, it's great to have knowledge. Sir Francis Bacon in the 1800s coined the phrase knowledge is power. He ain't around to argue with me right now, but knowledge is powerless until you put it to use. And if you go back and listen to this and watch this and take notes, there's so many things that you can apply into your business that will make a difference. And that's why I do these interviews with successful people, so you can learn from their real life experiences, take those experiences and apply them into your business to make you money as a network marketing professional. That's why we do this. So Allie, again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you sharing with the audience, and I look forward to seeing you in person one of these days.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Todd.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on this episode. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Until next time, stay fearless, my friends.